The Prophet of Thought series. Prophet of Thought series.
Welcome back to another edition of the Prophet of Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T Media YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, and I actually showed up on time. Can y'all believe it? Well, anyway, I got a good show for y'all tonight. Boy, I got a good show for y'all tonight. Tonight, we will be debuting the 4 unicorns. Lady Ming, Lady Kendra, Lady Classic, and Lady Cats. Gonna be a good show tonight, y'all. Also, we might get a visit from the right hand of T.P.O.T, teacher Tanisha. You know, she's been missing in action here the last couple of weeks, but I think she might make an appearance tonight. She better, because if she don't, she fired. But anyway, yeah. Tonight, got a good show for y'all tonight. Yeah, we're gonna have some special ladies up here tonight. I call them the 4 unicorns, and full disclosure, the unicorn description I actually stole from my man Don Calypso, because in my mind, he's the one who coined the phrase unicorn. He was the first one I ever heard use that. So thanks, Don C. I had to rob that from you, brother, if you're listening. Yeah. So the reason why, let me explain to y'all what unicorn is before we get started. As we all know, unicorn is a mythical creature, not often found anywhere. So we often use the term unicorn to describe women who are different from other women. These women are usually a little more intellectual. These women are a little more down to earth. They have deeper understanding, and they're few and far between. Ergo, the title unicorn, because they are like almost impossible to find. But somehow T.P.O.T has gathered them for y'all tonight. Ha ha. Hey, what's up, Cats? Everybody got the Cats. You didn't email me, so I wasn't able to send you the link. I think everybody else has it. I do believe I sent it to everybody else. So what I will do for you, I guess I'm gonna have to put it in the chat for you. Let me see here. Gotta bear with me. You know, I got a lot of new equipment. You know, I'm still kind of figuring out how it all works, y'all. So copy that from there. There you go. I might have to put it in your email anyway, because here lately, the last few streams that I've been having, we've been having some problems with people getting the link. So I don't know what's going on. Hey, what's up, Lady Classic? I see the gang is all here. So I guess y'all can go ahead and hop on. We can go ahead and get this thing started. Okay, Lady Kendra. So everybody got the link, right? Brother Laquan, what's going on, man? John TZ1, what's up, man? What's good, brother? I said, teach me unicorns. Yeah, I think you're gonna learn something tonight, man. Well, before the unicorns start to come on the stream, let me just go through. Let me just go through a few things here. We on YouTube, and I include myself in it too. Brothers on YouTube, we have a tendency to well, let me rephrase that. Brothers on YouTube, we have often called women out about their thing that's going on. Ray C, what's good, man? What's going on, brother? And we have called each other, we have called women out on many, many things. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on the female side of the spectrum that we take great issue with, myself too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I give the sisters a hard time myself, even though that's not my side of the block. I'm also known for giving sisters. It's hold on, y'all. Cats, it's Prophet of Thought, one word, at yahoo.com. Prophet of Thought at yahoo.com. All right. Now, we often we take great issue with the sisters. And the reason why I assembled this group of unicorns is because we have to realize that not all women are hoes, not all women are heifers and hood rats and trap house tramps and all this kind of stuff. Not all of them. I mean, and I think everybody knows that. Often when you hear brothers talk, it's easy to assume that brothers, hate women or hate black women or whatever the case, hate the whole female species. I, for one, do not. Anybody that's been following the Prophet of Thought series, they know that I've always had females on my platform ever since the days of me being in the booth. I've always had females on my team. You look through my archives. I mean, I've had many females on my team. Okay. I've had female co-hosts. I mean, teacher Tanisha, she's been with me from the very beginning. She's like the right hand of T.P.O.T. So I've also often been accused of hating black women myself, which I think is totally ridiculous, being that I'm married to a black woman. I have 2 grown black daughters. I have black sisters and all of that. Now, I hate some of the stuff that some of the women do now. I do hate that. But to say that I hate women is just stupid. I mean, it's just stupid on its face. So whenever anyone accuses me of that, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. But I have some ladies on here tonight. I call them the 4 unicorns because I have listened to them speak. I have listened to their points of view. I feel that they bring a intellectual female perspective to things. I want everybody to know that this isn't a replica of anybody else's platform. This is something that I'm trying out new. And I believe that this is going to be an ongoing relationship. And I want everyone to enjoy it. I want everyone to try to get an understanding of it. And I want everybody to be respectful. I'm not going to allow the unicorns to disrespect anyone, but likewise, the unicorns are in my house, so no one will disrespect them either. My mods are in there. I mean, mods, y'all know how we do it over here. All right. Y'all know how we do it over here. Anybody say anything stupid, disrespectful, right out the door. Just show them the door. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right. Because you know this is grown folks. This is a grown folks platform. We have fun, we make jokes, but make no mistake, this is grown folks stuff. Anybody come up in here saying anything stupid, just show them the door. That's it. No second chances, no timeout. Just forget about your timeout buttons and all that. Everything is blocked. You're just blocked. One stupid thing, you're blocked. So I see that 3 of the unicorns have arrived already. I see Lady Classic. I might want to put my earphones on so I can hear. I see Lady Classic. I see Lady Cats, Lady Ming. What's going on, ladies?
Hello, hello.
What's up? I've been waiting for this.
Again, thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just go ahead and get started now that most of the gang is here. Lady Kendra said, I think she has some things she has to do, but she's coming on, she said. This week, well, over the past couple of weeks, I should say, there's been a lot of talk about sexual harassment. A lot of women have been coming forward, you know, whether it be a newscaster, a politician, entertainer, whatever the case may be. Now, what I want to know is what you ladies take is on this whole situation. And do you agree with how it's going down? Let's just start there. That's my opening question for you ladies. Whoever wants to go first can.
I guess I could go first.
Okay.
Okay. So as for Hollywood and I guess politics, I think that there might have been some sexual harassment, but for the most part, I think that a lot of those women do favors for careers or opportunities, and they might just have buyer's remorse because their career might not have panned out as successfully as they wanted it to. And uh I'm not a I don't 100% like how it's going because it seems to me that a lot of like I guess the feminist media is basically making it okay to well they're basically trying to make it sound like it's wrong to molest or rape or harass women, but then like say when child stars come forward, they're like, "Oh, well, you should have known what you were getting into," and all that. Like how they treated Corey Feldman. I've seen some people treat Hassan Campbell like that. I've seen some people treat a few other like that. I'm just like, why is it okay for all the women to come out, but like people who are young children, you know, why can't they tell their stories? So
You know, I'm conflicted. I'm really conflicted. One reason being sexual harassment, assault, rape, molestation is never right under no circumstance. However, you were willing to trade sex for favors when it was advantageous to you, but now that you no longer see anything in it, now you're willing to come forward. So, to answer the second question, I don't like the way it's happening. but I am glad it's happening because it's a lot of strength in numbers, and some people who may have been ostracized or threatened who would have come forward before now have gotten some strength to come forward. And to be quite honest, it's about time to take Hollywood down anyway. We already know it's ran by a bunch of pedophiles. So as far as I'm concerned, so what? Get them.
Wow.
Well, I think honestly, and to an extent, like I see a difference between, say, the cases with Harvey, what's it, Weinstein,
Weinstein.
Weinstein.
and say some of the
Typical
more
Jewish
recent
man.
cases. So in his case, I actually believe those women not just because of the actual stories they're telling and the fact that they had no protections. It is Hollywood. And, their stories involve a lot of, I don't like this, I don't want this, no, no, no. And it was kind of like, too bad, and who's going to believe you anyway? So there is a difference between that, and I think there were some more recent allegations where a woman was like, well, I sat in the car next to him and he put his hand on my leg. I didn't tell him not to move his hand. I didn't move away, but it was the most uncomfortable car ride of my life, and then I never got into a car with him again, and that's my hostile work environment. Like there's a large difference between those types of stories. So I think it comes down to, for me, first of all, I don't think that it's right for you to be put on trial in social media. If you're not being put on trial, like in an actual trial, criminal or civil, you certainly should not be put on trial and have your whole life ruined and lose your career and whatever over social media. So that would be my first issue. The second issue would be, again, looking at it, women who say, well, he put his hand on my leg and I didn't tell him to move it, and there were no rules against office fraternization or whatever, but man, that hand on my leg was so uncomfortable. But, she tolerated it because, she wanted the job or whatever, versus the woman who is in a scary situation. Because some of these situations with Harvey Weinstein sounded pretty scary, 30 years ago. I see a big difference between that. And the cases where these women are, I would say, lying as much as they're making a mountain out of a molehill. Those are the cases where, for me, it's kind of almost ruining it. It's ruining the really valid claims. It's ruining the opportunity to clean up all of the bullshit that is actually going on. So that way, true harassers and true kind of violators are kind of put down, and it becomes somewhere where things like this, whether it's pedophilia or sexual harassment of any sort or abuse, is not going to be going on, period.
Kind of
Well,
like with Terry Crews, a little bit classic. Is that what you're meaning? Because he seems real genuine, I'm sorry, about his claim. But it's almost as if everything else is overshadowing it.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's like, well, there's also part of the issue to me is, in general, there's a lot of people clowning men who are making claims in general, and putting them down for making claims. But I mean, I think that's part of the issue in and of itself, is that you have young men, little boys, full-grown men who won't report, and who would never make it a public issue because they're afraid of the shame. And so when you have victims who are scared to speak up because of shame, then it actually allows predators to continue on. So I don't think we should be shaming people who, as far as I can see, Terry Crews would not gain a benefit from coming forward with that story. There's literally no benefit to him to do it. So in my opinion, I felt he was genuine as well, because I don't see a benefit in it. And shaming him, putting him down, will just shut up anyone else who's ever gone through this and allow those types of actions to continue against men.
well, let me ask you ladies this. How would you ladies, say you ladies are in Hollywood, or you're trying to work for this big company or whatever the case may be. And well, this is actually a two-part question. If you were working in Hollywood and one of these big wigs say, come on, girl, over here and do this, that here, and I'll give you this here job. And have any of you ever been approached like that, pushed up on like that? Have you been propositioned like that? Whoever want to go first can answer.
My
Okay, well,
answer is short and I'm sorry.
no, go
Mine
ahead.
is short and sweet. I've never been propositioned. I've never been in a circumstance like that. So I really don't even have any experience to draw from in that regard. I have been in a almost rape situation, since we're just on sexual assault in its entirety, but nothing, job related or do this and I'll give you that. No, I haven't.
Okay.
Well, I know, like, for example, so I wanted to be a singer and an actress growing up, and it was something I really did dedicate my life to. And then, right around the time that I was going to really try to break into the music industry, Ashanti was big, Aaliyah had just died, but there was a whole bunch of light-skinned kind of falsetto type voices out there. And I remember the guy I was dating at the time kind of said, first of all, the casting couch is like a real thing. And there's a good chance that, especially since there's nothing particularly original about you, because there's so many of you kind of out there right now, that would kind of be the way you need to get ahead. And I mean, I don't know if he was right or wrong, but I do know that that was a big factor in why I decided not to even try going ahead, because I knew I couldn't compromise myself that way. In regards to work, have I ever been sexually harassed? Absolutely. But I'm the type of person who, if it happens, I will address it in the moment really loudly, and normally I will kind of slap it down with some type of comedy. So that way it's almost like the person who ends up doing it ends up looking like an idiot, but like low key. Like I won't be, making threats or saying when I go to HR, I'll just kind of make fun of you. So yeah.
Anybody else? Lady Kendra, I see you down there, lady. What's good?
Hey, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's good. Just to answer the question, I had almost a similar experience to what Ruby was saying when I was like 16 or whatever. I wanted to be guys that were supposed to be like producers or whatever did end up coming to my high school, and they were like coming because we had like a week-long like talent show and all of that kind of stuff, and I guess they liked the performance that I put on. So we didn't really get too far into it because I started feeling uncomfortable right away, because the guys who were there and who were supposed to be like the producers or whatever, they the lead guy, and I have to say he was probably in his early to mid 30s, started really like coming on to me in a in a romantic way, and I felt really uncomfortable about that. Because if you're approaching me on the basis of we're supposed to be potentially working together, or you want me to come down to the studio with you or something like that, he would like kind of try to persuade me to not bring like, because I was going to bring like my older brother, or something like that with me, because I don't know you, you know what I'm saying? Like I was totally green. And so that never got off the ground, because once I ended up, like my brother couldn't come, and I ended up like mentioning it to my dad, and my dad met that guy, he was like, no. And he was cordial with the dude, but once we got like in the car or whatever, he was like, no, you can never go anywhere with this man, ever. He was like, and if that means you don't have a singing career, then you won't have it. Because I guess whatever he saw through them or whatever as a man, he put a stop to that real quick. So that was the closest that I ever came to a situation of you give me this, I'll give you that type of deal.
Wow. Lady Katz, you want to chime in on this too?
I've been propositioned, but it was like at the church. So that was a different situation because I had somebody I could tell. Like I told my grandparents about it. So that shut it down real quick. But like had that happen at a job or at school or anything.
All right. Well, for the younger women, because that's kind of why I got y'all together, because I want this to be kind of like an advisory panel for younger women. I mean, we're going to cover some other stuff tonight too, but for the younger women, what What would you ladies tell younger women how to avoid finding themselves in these predicaments in the first place? Because I'm a true believer of this. This is what troubles me with a lot of these allegations. You hear these women say, "Oh, I was at his apartment, I was in his office, I was, this, that, and the other thing." And I know me, all right? I know me as a young guy. When I was a young guy in my 20s, I had my own condo. And there was no women in that condo that wasn't planning on getting naked. So it seems like to me, if you're a woman and you're going somewhere where you're going to be alone with a man, I mean, why are you in that position? Why do you put yourself in that particular position or that particular predicament if you're not expecting something to happen? And I put that question to all of you unicorns.
If I could jump in first with that.
Go ahead.
Feminism has taught women that they don't need to have discernment in situations, and that no matter what situation that she puts herself in or finds herself in, that a man isn't supposed to violate that situation or violate her. And I hate to even really frame it as that, as if to say that only men violate in positions of power, because when women are in positions of power, they do the same thing. But we'll keep it here for the sake of the conversation. Women nowadays, the majority of women, I would say that the first thing that they need to do is don't go anywhere with a man where you will be one-on-one with him. You don't need to be, if this is a work-related thing, why are we going to condos and apartments, homes and offices after hours? Why are we going to these places? Because if whatever my boss has to say to me, or whatever business we need to take care of that needs to be, that is related to my work, we can take care of it in work hours. That's why I got a schedule for. And if it needs to be, if we can't get to it today, then we need to get to it tomorrow when I clock in for work. And that's the bottom line. Whenever a woman goes into these situations, she went to his house, best believe, unless she has some type of mental defect, she knows what's up. She knows what's up. You're a woman. You're a grown woman. And if you are in charge of all of your mental faculties, then I don't want to hear about what you didn't know. Because if I show up at some man's apartment at 10 o'clock at night, and he, wants to have a nightcap, quote unquote, then I know what that nightcap consists of. It's not just a drink. He wants something else. And if I enter into that situation, then I am agreeing more or less that I'm down with that situation. Because if I'm not down with the situation, then I don't go in there. And to bring that even further, you have to put yourself in a position where a man would not even think to proposition you that way. You're doing something that a man is seeing in you, that he feels like he can say that, or he can proposition you, or he can put that on the table and you might bite. He's seeing something in you that he can approach, because I guarantee you he's not approaching every woman like that. He's approaching you like that and others like you. So it's the energy that you're putting out to men.
You're breaking up. And I got to interrupt anyway because the right hand of T.P.O.T has entered. Everyone knows Teacher Tanisha. What's good, Teach?
Peace and blessings, Brother X. What's up? What's up, everyone? How are you?
What's going
on? Hello.
Everybody, this is Teacher Tanisha. I want to introduce you to Lady Kendra, Lady Katz, Lady Ming, and Lady Classic, the 4 unicorns.
The 4.
The 4.
Yeah. Oh, 4 unicorns. Okay, cool.
The 4.
You should have put the 4 elements.
Oh, well, you should have heard what I was calling them last week. I was calling them the 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
And
Lady
quick
was
funny,
Yeah.
my husband, I told him the name. He said, "You just make sure you're Ric Flair."
Now, see, what people don't know is that teacher Tanisha is a unicorn as well.
Oh
Um,
God. No, I'm more like
I
a
was,
mermaid, but okay.
oh God,
Yeah.
but I was telling everybody
Yeah,
earlier,
Moja.
Teach, us brothers, us male black YouTubers, we've often been we've often been labeled as, women haters. I've even gotten that thrown at me myself. And I have to explain to people sometimes that, I'm not a woman hater. I'm married to a black woman. I have two grown black daughters. I've had women part of my platform ever since the beginning. So when you say that to me, you're just talking stupid. Yeah, you're just talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just talking
Mm-hmm.
stupid. Yeah, you're literally talking stupid. So, I just had to kind of lay that out there, because a lot of times when you entertain women on your platform, people have a tendency to say, "Oh, you a simp, you are this, you are that," and you know me,
Really?
I don't give a shit about none of that. That's why
Facts.
I've always had women as part of my team. Women have been part of my team ever since the team began. So I mean, it's
Right.
I don't really care what brothers think. My woman know I'm a damn alpha male. I go get her right now. She get on this damn mic and tell you. He's an alpha male. But yeah, I was asking the four Teach about all these sexual accusations that's going on in Hollywood and politics and entertainment and
Um,
everything else.
yeah,
And what
it's like a swarm all at one
yeah,
time. It's
it's an
crazy.
echo chamber. And
Right.
we were listening to Lady Kendra because I was saying that when I was a young guy and I had my condo, if a
Mhm.
woman showed up there, I mean, I'm automatically assuming she's showing up to get out her clothes. I mean, why is she there if she ain't there to get out the clothes? We ain't over there to
Mm.
play marbles or play Scrabble or play chess. We ain't there for that. She there. I know what she's there for. So that's the
Mhm.
question I was putting to the floor just now.
Right.
What was their take on that whole, situation, with a
Everything.
woman showing up at
Um,
apartments and
right, in
offices and all
hotel
that.
rooms and so forth and so on. Well,
Yeah.
Pamela Anderson, she used to play on I forgot the name of it, but it was some type of beach show with
Baywatch.
Oh,
David
Baywatch.
Hasselhoff. Thank you, Baywatch, with David Hasselhoff and so forth and so on. Thank you. Anyway, she had stated about one of the actors who also got accused and got all his stuff pulled from HBO. She said that if these women are going to a hotel room basically for a meeting, that they should know what's up. I mean, like the other sister was saying prior to a few minutes ago, you're not going to show up at somebody's place at a certain time after a certain time and then expect there to just be platonic or a business interaction going on. And Pamela Anderson also said, which I agree with her as well, these women got to have like more common sense, like in Hollywood and in their circle there are warning signs given out about certain people, how they are, how they conduct themselves, how they move, within that circle. And that this man was known already for being sexually, explicit with women. And so there was already a rumor, I guess, within their community going on about this man. And he I guess he felt like he was in a position of power, or either if the women came there, they already knew what was up. You understand? I don't think that, and not to say that it wouldn't be possible for this to happen, but I don't think that everybody that's accusing him is being totally honest. I mean, maybe there were some women that were with him and they expected to move forward and they didn't. And they're trying to go along with the story of him sexually harassing them. And I also do believe that there are maybe 2-3 women who were not up for that and who he sexually assaulted outside of hotel rooms and homes and so forth and so on. Like the sister said also a few minutes ago, if you're showing up at a man's apartment or a hotel, wherever he's at, after a certain time, you already know what's going to happen. Like it's common sense, you know. That's like if you go on a date and then it gets late, he's like, oh well, let's go to my place. What would be the reason to go to your place? What would be taking place if me and you already had a date, we went out and ate, we saw a movie or whatever, and you know what would be taking place after that? So of course it's common sense. I mean, we're all grown adults. From what I know, the people that were the accusers are not underage, you know, women. They're grown women. So they know what's going on. And I'm not bashing anybody, of course not. I mean, as far as the actual victims, I feel bad for them. You know, all what I feel most women go through certain situations in life where they, if not, um, you know, how can I say this? Um, if not, matter of fact, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I'm gonna take that back. I feel that a lot of women have went through experiences where they were sexually harassed by men or tried. And when I say tried, I mean to see, you know, if the man would be like, oh, okay, she's all for it. Yeah, let's, you know, let me try. Let me see if she's open to. So we've experienced this. And when you experience something, you kind of know if a story is coming out of left field, if there's some truth to it, and if there's not. So for the women that have experienced that within the situation, as far as the media, and it's actually true, I totally, you know, my heart goes out to them. I'm sorry that they had to go through that situation, but unfortunately we all go through things that we don't like, including, you know, being sexually harassed, or try to see if, you know, we would be down with the, you know, the stuff, you know, the interaction, and, you know, and I mean, if somebody's constantly getting away with something, they're going to continue to do it. I don't think that I would take the apologies of the men for like, I wouldn't take it as if they're being sincere, because they're just apologizing because they got caught. You know, they lost their jobs, they lost their careers, you know, like Lauer, or however you pronounce his last name, Matt Lauer. He's, you know, his career is done. He could forget about ever being a news anchor. You understand what I mean? They're taking people out of Senate. They're taking people, you know, off of HBO. So they're showing, as far as, you know, Hollywood is concerned, they're showing that, you know, if you're caught, they're going to take you out as far as your position, you know, your livelihood, your name, you know, is going to get dragged through the mud. I just think that it's kind of like, it's just like everybody's jumping on a bandwagon, you know, like this is the season to, you know, get all the pedophiles and the sexual harassers and, you know, all of the people who are, you know, trying to come out and do things that they have no business doing. You know, it's a positive thing, and it be for me, to me rather, because it's showing that just because that they have a certain status or are at a certain level, you know, within their Hollywood scene, that doesn't mean it's okay. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that just because you're Russell Simmons or whoever, that you get to do this to people and get away with it. So it does send out a message to them and, you know, to others, you know, and in business, especially in the business atmosphere. Certain shit you're not gonna, you know, get away with, you know. It's not. And I wasn't even shocked to hear about the people and, you know, what was going on, because I think most people so-called in a position of power, especially men, when they have a certain amount of money, you know, their whole thing is going to be, yeah, I'm going to get, you know, all these different women and this and that. Nobody's going to say no to me because I'm, you know, I'm Matt Lauer, I'm Russell Simmons, you know, I'm this big head of whatever. You understand? I'm a Senate, you know, I can do whatever the hell I want. So it shows that no, you can't do whatever the hell you want, and you will be called out. You know, you will be embarrassed. You will be stricken of whatever titles you hold in whatever business that you're in, you know. So it, for me and to me, it's kind of like, a balance, because of course there's women who are accusing them, like I said, jumping on the bandwagon, who are full of shit. And it's messed up that they think it's okay to kind of piggyback on the situation that women actually went through and experienced, with the person that they're accusing. You understand what I mean? So it's, I mean, of course, women have to have common sense. All people really just need to have common sense, but especially when you move in a certain way. Nobody is going to conduct business in a hotel room or, at their house, or unless it's a group meeting, and it's the only place to go is the person's house. There would have to be more than one person there. I mean, personally, for me to even show up and be in an atmosphere with another man where me and him is alone and I'm feeling like we're conducting business, like, come on, like, be smarter than that, Yeah, so that's my opinion on the whole thing.
Let me go ahead and let me ask the four this.
Mhm.
If all of you ladies, okay, and I'll put this to you too, Teach. What if some of these women that are saying this are just hoes of conscience? And when I say hoes of conscience, I mean they was a hoe, and 10 years has went by, 15 years has went by, and now they have a conscience. Now they're like, you know what?
Is that what you mean by that?
Hoes of conscience. So now they have a conscience, and they're like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have given him that blowjob. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have, had sex with him in the office on the couch. And now they turn around because this is
that Monica Lewinsky, huh?
See, this is the problem with us as men, right? If a woman comes to us, right, and say we're a producer, we're an executive, we're whoever, and a woman comes into our office and we proposition her and she's receptive to that proposition, right? And the man has sex with her. He bangs her out over his desk, whatever case may be, right? And she goes along with it and everything is fine. She can easily come back 5 days later, 5 years later, 10 years later, 10 days later and say,
and accuse him once he's in a position of power, right?
Accuse him of doing something and he will lose everything over a damn
even though
lie.
it happened 10 years ago. Yeah.
And even
or however long ago, yeah.
Even though it was consensual, it could be consensual.
Yeah, I think that's
But no one's ever going to believe the man if she comes out and says, oh, he took advantage of me, oh, he did this to me. No matter what the man says, no one's going to believe his side. No one's going to believe that it was consensual once the woman says it was not. So men that have had these soirees with these women, whether these women were their secretaries, their subordinates, their interns, their whoever, they are in a precarious position because if they found themselves in a compromising situation with these women, even though the compromising situation was totally consensual by both parties, the woman can easily say, hey, it wasn't consensual. I didn't want him to touch me. I didn't want to suck him. I didn't want, she can say that and the man is screwed. So my question to y'all ladies is this. What do you think? Matter of fact, I'll even go on even further. I do a lot of crime research. I research a lot of crime stuff. You know that, Teach. I'm always reading articles and newspapers and old clips of crimes that took place back in the day.
Right.
To date, I believe there's been approximately 127 people who have been exonerated off of rapes between now and I believe 1995, I believe.
So from 95 to now.
Yes, where the woman literally lied. This man did time in jail and come to find out it wasn't him. So what do you ladies take? Because this is why I got y'all on here. I got y'all on here because I need the ladies to call out the other ladies' bullshit. Because see, I can say it all day. It doesn't mean anything. So what do you ladies think should happen to the women where that takes place? And I'll start with I'll start with Lady Ming.
Oh.
I'll start with Lady Ming. I'm gonna go down the gauntlet.
Well, I'll be honest. I'll recount a personal story. My husband in college was actually accused of rape. He had went down to a person's room in the dorm to use the computer to finish up a paper, and then that later on, she said he was raped. He was in jail for 30 days, and luckily, her roommate came forward and said she's lying, and that was the end of that because she was
Wow.
lying. Come to find out, she actually had sex with somebody on campus who was from her hood, and she didn't want to accuse him out of fear of retaliation. So
Wow.
exactly. So that is really important to us. That could have ruined his entire life if the roommate wasn't there while he was there to say no, that never happened.
Wow.
Right.
It's almost like, well, what could they possibly do? What restitution, in terms of money, jail time? But it still never takes away the shame, humiliation, the time that he had to go through in jail. You can never get that back.
Mm.
True.
Not to mention everything's on the internet. So if you wanted to Google or research hard enough, it'll still pop up, in an article, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, I really don't know like what you can do. And then conversely, what about the women who are put in those situations and they have no recourse?
Right.
Like
There's no justice
what?
for them.
Yeah, there's no justice. It seems like the molestation and rape. There's never no justice, no matter what the outcome ends up being.
Hmm.
Okay. Lady Classic.
Hi, sorry.
I was about to play my cricket sound effect for a second.
Sorry about that.
Don't make me play this here. Don't make me do it.
I didn't realize I was muted. So I think to me there's such a, well, first of all, ultimately white people, especially rich white people, tend not to be falsely accused, let alone actually arrested and then convicted of any crime, let alone rape. So normally a lot of these exonerations are coming from Black men being exonerated because they were easy targets, right? Like, oh, a Black male raped you? Yeah, we believe that they're criminals, so let's convict them.
Exactly.
No evidence. Who cares? I mean, Trump just said when you had the what are they
Central Park.
those four guys? Yeah, and when
The Central Park.
was it
Talking about the
4 or
Central Park
5?
fall?
Oh yeah, they were in
Yeah.
jail for like almost 20 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
and
long.
then once they were
17, I believe.
exonerated, and since Trump was such a huge advocate for it, it's like once they're exonerated, Trump said, well, I don't really care. They must have done something. So, they should have been locked up. You should keep them locked up. Why? They should have done something. So, most, if not all of the allegations against Black males, I mean, I just tend to have an issue with those anyway. But so I actually feel like if anything, false accusations against them, personally, emotionally, I feel like that should be punished even greater. But with that being said, in this day and age, just like, say 30, 40 years ago, no one really cared, unless it was a Black male raping a white woman, which in that case, everyone cared. No one really cared that women were being raped. So I
That's
understand
true.
the idea, the concept that women were stayed silent for 30 years. Women feared telling anybody, et cetera, et cetera. I do get that concept to an extent. And quite frankly, though, there's a statute of limitations. It exists for most crimes except murder. It's already run out. So again, I don't think that it's okay for all of these people to be accused in social media. There's no way of them clearing their name. There's no way of them fighting against it, and they're going to be penalized. Sure, they're not going to jail. They're just losing everything instead. So I don't really think that that's the way that our justice system should work. And whether it's through criminal court or civil court or just in social media, if these women are lying and they're caught, I do think there should be real consequences. You sent someone to jail for I don't care if it was 6 months or 20 years. There should be heavy jail time and heavy penalties against any woman who lies, because not only does
Exactly.
it seriously damage men, because these men who are found innocent, I don't mean not guilty, I mean innocent, they've still lost their scholarships. They still lost their futures.
Yeah.
They still lost everything. And you got to go on with your pretty little life. And then what, they might slap you with a $500 perjury charge or something. Like that's not equal. So, you're a feminist and you believe in equality. If you thought he should go to jail for 20 years, then you should go to jail for 20 years for lying about it and ruining his life, because you can't give him his life back. And I wish that there was something that the universities and the legal system would do to give them their lives back. You know what I mean? The university, the boy who was just, I say boy because he was young, still in college, was just found to be innocent, but oh well, his scholarship's still gone. His education's still over.
That's
His
crazy.
future's still over. So, like, we need to, and it makes me even more frustrated because as a victim of sexual assault, and I didn't report, I didn't tell anyone, and I wouldn't turn around now and go and publicly blast their name and whatever, because I made a choice not to report. That's on me. And, I carry the guilt of, if they have done anything to anyone else, that's on me for not reporting, and I suck. But it comes down to, for women like me, when these women lie and it's found out every single time, it makes women like me who aren't lying look like liars. It reflects so terribly on real victims who really deserve to be believed, who deserve to have support. And it makes people not support real victims. So you know what? I think that the punishment is tenfold. It's not just the fact that they're ruining the lives of innocent men. They're also ruining the believability and the support and whatever that true victims can get. So I think punishment should be from all aspects. I think it should be civil, legal, monetary, everything.
Yeah. Yesterday we were talking.
Hold on.
Right? Yeah.
What was that?
Who's next?
That's the round of applause.
Oh,
There's a
Just
pause.
said, what was
Like, what is that?
It's like, is that running water? Or
That's what it sounds like, running water.
Hold on.
Next time we'll just officially hand clap. How about that, y'all?
Hold on. Let me do it one more time. Hold on. That better?
No, we're gonna get a new clapping system. Yeah, we're gonna get a new clap. Yeah, we're gonna get a new clapping system. It still sounds like running water.
But thank you in either case.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I guess we can go to Lady Kendra now. I'm trying to squeeze everybody in. I got a lot of ladies up here. I'm trying to squeeze everybody in. So.
I pretty much echo Ruby with this situation. Them paying a little bit of a perjury charge, something of that nature, that's not enough of a deterrent for lying. And they lie for various reasons. None of them are good enough. They don't want to be shamed before whomever they think might look down upon them as a whore, or they, or whatever the reason is. You lie on a man and you say, oh, well, he raped me. And in this present climate, what ends up happening is she gets believed. He gets demonized. Even if he doesn't serve time in jail, let's just say they find out before he gets to serve any time that she's lying. Her story just doesn't make any sense. He still got demonized in the court of public opinion. If he had any, just look at what happened with Cam Newton. Now, this was not even a situation of him being accused of any type of assault or sexual misconduct. All he did was laugh at this woman. And he wasn't even really truly laughing at her. All she had to do was make a big stink. That man lost his endorsement. He lost his yogurt endorsement.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm in Charlotte. I know.
They separated themselves from him real fast. And then he got lambasted by, sports announcers, and everybody wanted to make a big deal. Now, there was no sexual misconduct. She hadn't accused him of anything. He didn't touch her. He didn't say a foul word to her, nothing. So that was his consequence when there should not have been one. Yeah. And just imagine, of all the men who have gone through something who didn't actually do anything to these women, or these young girls or whatever. They're not that young. They know they're lying. So I feel like if he served time, she should serve an equal time. If he has to give up money, she should have to cough up money. I don't care if she's working at McDonald's. They need to garnish her check forever to pay back the money, whatever money, and pay him the money, whatever money that he lost. It should be some stiff penalties for lying. You cannot just go somewhere and lie just because you own a vagina. You can lie on a guy and say that he did something to you and he raped you and he touched you and he said something and he, gave you a side eye or whatever it is you want to say, and then he needs to pay with his life, whether that's his money. I mean, even with Bill Cosby. Now, these women, they can't really send them to jail because it happened 50 million years ago, supposedly.
He just said 50 million.
Okay, so they can't really put him in jail, but it ruins him anyway. So the image that he spent all of this time building publicly, and I don't know what he did or didn't do. I find it difficult to believe that there were white women in the 60s that were scared to tell on a black man that he did something. But that's just me. But and they took the Cosby Show off, and the only reason they put it back on reruns was because the rest of the cast members was like, "Hey, we get royalties for that. We're not under any type of investigation. You taking money out of my pocket." Right. So that still ruined his image. That still makes him spend money. That still puts him through something with his wife. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. You still dragging that man through social media, and this is an old man. So if you got beat up in the 60s and you didn't get that role that he said that he could pull strings to get you, well, that is just too bad, so sad now, isn't it?
Right.
That's it. That's it. Lady Katz, you want to weigh in on this?
Okay, so to your first point about the hoe with a conscience, that's kind of what was going on with Rose McGowan when she accused Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
People forget Rose McGowan was like taking all kinds of nasty pictures, and she was running around with Marilyn Manson, showing up to award shows with like peekaboo dresses, no underwear underneath,
showing everything.
Right. And even like recently, she still makes like little nasty pictures of herself, but then she hooks up with the lady who created the Me Too thing, like which Me Too was actually created by a black woman. For those who don't know, it's actually an organization, not just some hashtag. But she, has a speaking engagement at one of her events and is putting the black power fist up in the air, talking about women need to stand together and da da da. I'm like, I wouldn't trust somebody like Rose McGowan because I don't know. I wouldn't trust her
because of how she moved in the past. It's kind of like, well, you're probably still the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably still a hoe. You're probably still a hoe. But this is no. Go ahead. You want to finish? Go ahead, Katz. Go ahead.
And to the second point, I agree with Ruby and Kendra. They need to go to jail for as long as however long those guys went to jail. That's it.
I agree with that too. So we're gonna change gears a little bit, because I have some. These are my ladies of thought, my 4 unicorns. So we're gonna go on to some intellectual shit now. All right. I want to know what you ladies think, and I'll start with you, Teach. I want to know what you ladies think about the direction that this country is going in. Not far as forget about the sexual allegations and all this kind of crap. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. We can talk about that 6 ways to Sunday. As far as this country is going, as far as Black people are concerned. All right. Us as Black people, as far as that is concerned. What do you ladies see coming down the pipe in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, however long you want to say it? And Teach, I'll start with you.
Oh, well, I don't think much is going to change. I just feel that whatever position we're in, as far as how we're being treated, our so-called, I wouldn't even say second, as we're treated as second-class citizens. I would say we're not even treated as citizens or even people or even human beings to begin with, especially when you have a leader in office who is very vocal about how they don't like other people's differences, whether it be their religion, their race, sexual preference, so forth and so on. I think us as a people, which is going to be like really, really, really difficult because everybody keeps on saying this and it's going to sound kind of, cliche, but it is going to have to be some type of level of unity. Unfortunately, and I don't mean to sound so pessimistic, I would really like to be positive about this. But you're saying based off of how things are looking now, I mean, we're kind of like in a shithole, honestly, and that's just what it is. I mean, if people who are in power, who are not Black, okay, who have a certain status, if they themselves can be, if they them pardon, it was a text message, if they themselves can be, treated poorly, and we're already looked down on. I mean, our children are getting shot in the street, our men, our women, okay, have been getting killed, okay, left and right. And there really, to me, there was no damn remorse. Okay. You have a brother basically having to literally take himself out of a league, out of the NFL. I'm referring to Kaepernick at this point, out of the NFL because he sees that his passion for his people and for himself and for respect for people, for human beings, okay, is not even looked upon as any damn thing, okay? It's like he can get bashed and labeled and no team wants to pick him up, okay, to play on their team and so forth and so on. All of this stuff that he can go through, yet cops get off free for killing children, killing women, killing men who are innocent, who have done nothing wrong to deserve being shot dead in the street like dogs. Okay, so if this is what we're going through in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, if we don't change how we move in our minds and how we do things individually and with each other, we're in a shithole. If we don't see by now that the so-called powers that be here in this country, whether this be our land, Africa be our land, however, we're not even going to go into all that, but I'm just saying it's to a point where I can't see any hope for us as a people as a whole. I know there's certain individuals of us who future may be brighter than the whole, but when we're talking about a whole, all of us as a people, we're in a shithole. If we don't realize that by now, okay, I don't know what the hell else could be a wake-up call for us. I mean, it's really sad that as a people, we can even put ourselves in this type of position to be treated like this, because there's one Kaepernick. There's other people like him, but they don't have the platform or the money or the voice to make a difference. You understand? Like this brother has done. And a majority of the NFL are Black players. It's kind of like it's kind of like some Uncle Tom shit, or massa, obedient, I need to be obedient, massa, keep my check, keep my scraps, coming off the table so me and my family could eat. But if you don't stand up for anything, what is going to be the position of their future children, for their grandchildren? What so-called America do they think that their children is going to be living in, because they didn't take a stand, because they didn't think more of themselves and of them people to be like, yo, we have a right as breathing beings on this planet to be safe, to be sound, to be secure, to live a life that everybody else is entitled to. You understand now? If we choose not to make certain choices and make poor choices in our lives, not turn out that great on an individual basis, then that's on the individual. But as a people, as a whole, we have to do more. I mean, it's not like there aren't any of us out there who are trying. I mean, even this platform, okay, this is us trying to voice our opinions and do some type of work energetically to put out to the masses, you know, to the people to listen to. Maybe they can grab an idea or, you know, think more of themselves or, you know, have more passion for themselves as an individual and for their people. But that's a small majority of us. You know what I mean? That's a small portion of us. There's not that many of us who really take seriously the position that we're in this country for us to make a difference. You understand? I mean, like a whole entire difference, you know, throughout this country, being that I'm not even going to say globally at this point, but being that you said about this country specifically, I mean, we have to do more. We have to do more. We have to do more. If it's not on a group basis and it's just going based off of little individuals here and there trying to do stuff, it's not going to make a difference. So really at this point, we're fucked. That's how I look at it.
Lady Ming, same question. Where do you see this country? Where do you see this country going as far as Black people are concerned?
Well, first, generally speaking, I think that we're going to see an uprise of the non-traditional politicians. One thing Trump has done is he's kicked the door wide open. You really can grow up and be the president now, which is a little refreshing, personally speaking. I think that also, generally speaking, that I think the states are going to start to want a little bit more independence of the federal government, more so than they have right now, to be able to run their state the way they want to run their state. Because Donald Trump has just made a mockery of the whole thing. I think there's going to be a more investing into Mother Africa, you know, my school days voice. I think people are going to start going back to Africa. I mean, this year alone, I could count on my fingers and toes how many people I know personally who are going and investing in Africa, building in Africa, and just vacationing in Africa. It's the new Dubai, I guess. You know, everybody wants to run to Dubai for a while. I think that we're going to see a resurgence of vigilante justice, citizen arrests and things like that, because I live in the wild, wild west in Chicago. So it's getting out of hand. You know, just a couple of days ago, the police had to ram a car off the road because they decided to shoot up a funeral procession.
What?
Okay. Yes.
Wow.
They were, somebody got
that
killed. They decided to, in the funeral procession, start shooting at the burial. The police literally had to run them off the road. It's a mess. So I really believe that people are going to start standing up for themselves more so than they have been in the past, especially considering we can't even trust the police to do it for us anyway. And to be quite honest, I think it's just going to be more of the same, because the more things change, they stay the same.
Yeah.
So those are just some key points that I wrote down.
I see my man Universal Jones in the house. What's good, brother? Lady Kendra, I'll go to you next. Where do you see this country going as far as Black people are concerned?
I hate to sound like such a cynic, but I have to agree with, I don't know her name, the other young lady that has the really nice glasses on that I want to steal.
Oh, thank you. I'm Tanisha, sis.
That is the teacher, Tanisha.
All right.
The right hand of T.P.O.T.
All right, there we go. All right, so I have to agree with her. We kind of up the creek without a paddle a little bit. And the reason why, this country will go much as it has gone. It doesn't seem to want to change. And as a collective, Black people, we like being comfortable under master. Stockholm syndrome is strong.
Yeah.
We don't really like uncomfortability, because making changes means inherently that there will be sacrifices to be made. And we like to look at the next person to see what kind of sacrifice you're going to make. Instead of saying, well, what kind of sacrifice will I make in order to ensure that even if I don't live to see the change, that the change can be affected. We can't even agree that we have a problem as a people. We can't agree. We can't agree. When we are still worried about doing for the D challenges on Facebook and YouTube,
Go ahead.
and you 35 years old.
Okay.
When we're still writing articles about Meghan Markle found her Prince Charming as a black woman, and that woman don't even want to be called black. When we're still doing stuff like that in 2017, going into 2018, that makes me lose hope. That makes me lose hope because this is where your mind is at. There are bigger fish to fry, and everyone doesn't have to be a political scholar. Everyone doesn't have to be completely in the know about what happens in the political world. But you shouldn't be burying your head in the sand either. You know, if you do nothing more than work your sphere of influence in your family, the people whom you can influence, you know, your children, the people around you, you know, we can't even make sacrifices on that level. And that is a personal thing to do. That's not even counting on, you know, what some politician's gonna do, you know, what Agent Orange is gonna do, you know, and all of this kind of stuff. We worried about, I mean, he made his stance known.
Yes.
When he came through. He was very clear on it. And it's brought a lot of closeted white supremacists out in the open to let everybody know that feeling, just like the Stockholm syndrome and slave mentality is still here, the mentality of the dominant society hasn't gone anywhere either. Because you don't get to torture people for 400 years and then forget about it in a couple of generations. That's not even logical. So we still live underneath a society that feels as though we are not human beings. This is why they reacted in such a visceral way to the young men who were kneeling in the NFL. Now, how unobtrusive and peaceful can you get? By simply not standing for a song that glorifies the killing and the subservience of slaves, because when they won their independence, we didn't win ours. So why would you even stand for an anthem that says all of those things? And then to couple it with the fact that it wasn't even really about the anthem, it was about the police brutality that we had been experiencing and we continue to experience. So how peaceful was that? And the visceral reaction, oh my God, you know, they need to stand for the anthem and this is our country. Yeah, okay. You know, you've been saying that it's your country, but it's built on whose back? And we don't really understand what position that we're in as Black people or what kind of power that we really have, because if we disengage, if all the brothers in the NFL disengage from the NFL, is that a game you want to watch?
Thank you. There is no league anymore. There would be no NFL.
There's no league. And I'm not even really advocating that they necessarily do that. But at the same time, we need to understand where our power is. You know what I'm saying? This country was built on the backs of our ancestors. The industries that they make so much money off of is built off, they pilfer out of the minds of Black men and women. They pilfer the talent of Black men and women. They pilfer that. You know what I'm saying? They set up a society where, you know, the Black women, especially on the lower socioeconomic rungs, are going to have bastard children who are fodder for the prison industrial complex.
Yep.
The school to prison pipeline. You think they want to stop that? They're not going to stop that. So we have to stop it. But at what point do we realize that we actually have a problem? We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. You know what I'm saying? And it's like to wake Black people up as a collective to say, oh, okay, yeah, well, we got a problem big enough that it takes us doing something about. You can't just say, oh, yeah, we got a problem, and then I can go back to my life. That's not how that happens. And I think eventually our hand will be forced so that we have to do something about it.
All right. Who got chicken frying in the background of the damn microphone? Goddamn, I can hear some chicken frying. All right. Next up, we will go to Lady Classic. Where do you see this country going in the future as far as Black people are concerned?
Well, I think a big issue with Black America is that, I mean, it seems to be kind of like the hot new cause. And so what's happening is Black America is allowing itself to be used as an umbrella kind of shield for whatever the new cause of the day is, whether it's feminism or whatever they're using the plight of the Black person. And what they're doing is they're manipulating, the group to think, oh, these people are fighting for us and let's fight too. It's like, there's no such thing as Black feminism. Feminists don't care about Black women, but you have so many Black women fighting for feminism, right? So we, in essence, and I can't even just say it's just America, although obviously the issues are there as well. But, I'm going to attach Canada to this because we're jumping into every battle as well as Black people. And so it's going to come down to kind of a crisis point. The more that all these different groups and causes latch themselves onto us, the more fractured we become and the more lost we become and the further away we get from each other. So it's going to come to a crisis point where I think what we will need to do and is either we are just going to allow ourselves to be completely destroyed and demolished, or we are going to stop finding reasons why we are different and latching on to those causes that are trying to use us, reject people using us, and start banding together to fight for what we have in common. And we're going to stop allowing ourselves to be victimized and manipulated to fight other people's battles.
That's right. Okay.
All right. Lady Cats, you up?
Okay, so for the future, I'm kind of just afraid that well, I want to say Black people will go back to sleep, but a lot of them are still sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because a few weeks ago they were making a big deal about all these Black mayors and that were getting elected and stuff, and I'm like, I'm thinking like this, unless you organize and pull your resources together and come up with like demands for the mayor, like what difference is it going to be? Because there were Black mayors who did just as much damage to the Black community as white mayors or mayors of any other race. So, you know, I'm just wondering, what's going to come of that. I know like when when Trump became president, everybody was all like, well, should have voted for Hillary. And I'm like, well, it would have been the same thing, just with a slightly more feminist lean,
Mm-hmm.
instead of it being a bunch of old white dudes, it'd be a bunch of old white lesbians or
Yep.
something,
That's
doing
the
the
truth.
exact same thing that Trump is doing. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I just wish people would look past like political parties and look at what people have said, look at what they've done, look at what they've co-signed. And Black people in America, we have a tendency to just look at the headline, maybe read a couple of lines of an article, and then act like we're experts on certain things, and then just move on to the next big piece of news instead of really looking into things. So yeah, I'm a little uh, skeptical of what's to come. Yeah.
No, I can
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with that too, to an
Mm-hmm.
extent myself. And I see Cerulean Gray in the house. What's good, brother? Um, yeah, a lot of heavy hitters showing up in the old T.P.O.T chat. Um, all right, well, let me ask you ladies this, because this is like a round robin of questions. Because this is what I'm doing. I like to see you ladies flex your intellectual muscle.
Show them brain muscles.
Yeah, flex your intellectual muscle. Because the four they already know. Teach, I don't have to tell you. You already know what we do here. But the four, the reason they were all gathered is because they came on my platform last week and I did a stream called Wise Women Wanted, and they showed up. These four showed up, and I knew the people that showed up, they were going to be my unicorns. I already planned it because I see things down the road, and I knew the ones that showed up, they would be my unicorns. But you know how we do things here anyway, T. So you know how it is. You're part of the T.P.O.T family, so you already know what we do. But this is what I want to ask you ladies now. Where do you see yourself, your family, your legacy, your whatever in the next 5 years, 10 years? Where do you see yourselves? And I guess I'll start. We'll go in the reverse order. I guess I'll start with you, Cats, and we'll work our way back up the ladder in reverse.
In the next 5 years, I am thinking about going back to school, getting into computers. I'm getting some certifications into that, and I'm also considering learning Mandarin. So, and
Are you planning on going to China? You planning on going to China?
I'm waiting for them to come to us.
Oh,
smart girl. You get the language going because they're gonna be running into some stuff in a few minutes, huh?
I'm already into Spanish. I just gotta brush up on that. Like, I already know Spanish, so I haven't used it in a couple of years, but I can brush up on that. Hopefully that'll work.
Well, we know who to go to get our bilingual skills on. Sister Cat.
Yeah.
All right, Lady Classic, where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years?
Okay, well, in the next 5 to 10 years, I will have 4 little ones. Yeah, boy, girl, girl, boy. I've already named them. And
okay.
yeah, it will work out that way.
That's
and
right.
With my little ones, I'm guessing at least 1 or 2 of them will already be in school. The other ones will be a little bit more of a struggle because I know I will be still pursuing my degree because it will take forever because I'm going for my PhD. And my husband's planning on going back to school as well to get some certifications to kind of move up higher in a government level job instead of working kind of through a company that works for the government in the computer kind of area he's in. So I have a feeling over the next 5 to 10 years, we will kind of be sort of where we are and building and growing, and it will look like things are like we're in a worse place because we'll be struggling more because we'll have children to feed and clothe and take care of, and we will have more responsibilities and more work and less sleep. But, we'll be in that building phase. So, because I figure in about 15 to 20 years, we'll be in just a growing stage. We'll be done all of the major building and the heavy lifting, and it will be that place where we get to enjoy the fruits of our labor. So.
Okay. Lady Kendra, where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years?
This is an interesting question for me personally. I don't have any children and not going to have any, so that part of legacy building is over. I see myself hopefully in a position where I can sort of travel. There isn't a whole lot of money to go around, but I'm probably going to, because I stick around in Chicago for my dad, mainly. And probably in the next 5 years, I'll probably have buried my father. So that will be something that kind of lifts the anchor, so to speak. So to a point where I can kind of travel, when I say travel, I don't even necessarily mean internationally, although that might come to pass at some point, just within the United States. And that traveling won't necessarily be so much of a vacation as it will sort of a learning experience, just going around to different states, different places, seeing basically the condition of everyone else in the country since I've been kind of stuck in Chicago for all of my life. It probably won't happen in 5 years, but I'm definitely intending upon getting like a tiny house. I'm obsessed with those things.
No.
But I want one so that I can kind of travel with it and just kind of uproot to a certain degree. So I might be a Rolling Stone in another 5 years.
That's what's up.
Lady Ming. Lady Ming.
Well, in 2 words, independently wealthy in the next 5
Work.
years.
Okay.
My husband and I have quite a few irons in the fire. You guys know I'm a stay-at-home mom as of September when he was promoted.
Aw.
But outside of that, as I spoke last week, I'm building my own nonprofit called Broke Girls, Broke being an acronym for boldly reaching out and keeping engaged. Where we
Beautiful.
tackle things like health and mental health, parenting, relationships, leadership, and literacy. The anchor being for me sickle cell as well, because my daughter does have sickle cell anemia, full blown. I'm a carrier of the trait. And outside of that, we also have gotten into a business deal with the South African winery. They're looking to be able to import it into America.
Dope.
So we're working with that. In addition to that, my brother-in-law is a Grammy award-winning trumpeter. I won't say no names, but we're also working on putting together a jazz club here in Chicago. So we've actually working with a few grants and things like that. So legitimately 100% independently wealthy in about 5 years.
Okay.
Now teach.
Yes. Yes.
Can I put a team
me.
together? Can I put a
Yes, I
team
like
together? Could I
I
put a
like
team
them. I like
together?
all of them. I like them.
I
Yes.
guess we're
You
going
did
to
good.
keep, we're
You
going
did
to keep
good.
them.
You did
Thank
very
you.
good. Yes, I like all 4 of them. Yes, keep them. They all have a different flavor, a different look.
Yeah,
The
this is like this.
mindset overall is the same. Everybody can speak for themselves very intelligently. You understand their point of view. Yeah, it's over for the unicorns. I say
This
4
is like
elements. I'm gonna call you out of 4 elements. I like it better.
this is like the Super Friends. You know what I'm saying? This is like the
Yes.
Super Friends.
Yes.
The Super Friends. These are some very smart, intelligent ladies. That's why they're here.
Yes.
They don't know it, Teach, but I guess I can spill the beans now. They were all being evaluated by you. They didn't know that. Oh yeah.
Pop quiz.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And pop quiz.
You don't pass the muster, Teach. You don't remain. So
Don't say
you
that.
give me the thumbs up.
It's your show, but yes, they got the thumbs up.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
let me
Yes.
do this.
No, thank y'all.
Oh, you want to chime in on this too, Teach? You want to go in
Oh,
on this too?
and the 5 to 10
Five,
years,
5 to 10 years.
I'm 5 to 10 years.
You better
Before
have
then,
your behind
hopefully,
down. You better have your behind down here in 5 years.
I will be down south with my sister is his wife with my family. Okay, and I have 6 children of my own. Okay, my midwifery clinic will be open. Okay, I will be also doing other stuff via media. Getting into modeling. I'm trying to do that, not on that scale or level, but take some pictures with some pretty stuff on and work it. Most definitely and that by that time my youngest, which are twins, they'll be 11, and them and my additional 4 children, whatever their gifts or strengths are, they're going to be pursuing their own little mini businesses, because I want to teach them. Well, I am teaching them how to, do for themselves, work for themselves. This way they won't have to, work for other people and rely on other people and other jobs, and, have a job today and get fired tomorrow. And then God, what do? You have your own business, you're self-sufficient, you understand, you can move and motivate yourself, keep yourself motivated. They can have people working for them instead of them working for somebody else, and that's also where I see myself. So yeah, that's what's going to be popping.
Yay.
On to the
Yes.
next round of questioning. Well, this isn't really a question. This is really like a statement because notice I got some of this shit wrote down. I often hear, and we kind of touched on this last week. You often hear brothers say, and I'm guilty of saying it my own self, so I'm going to say we. I'm not going to say they. I'm going to say we, because my black ass is included in it too.
Take the responsibility.
Yeah, brothers often say, brothers like myself, we often say that women, like the women on this panel, all these beautiful ladies that I have on my panel, okay? All these beautiful ladies that's right here. Let me see if I'm doing it right. I'm probably doing it wrong. I always mess this up. These beautiful ladies that I have here on my panel, they say that women have a tendency not to call out the nonsense of other women. They say that women, y'all have a tendency to give the fuckery of other women who are unlike you, unicorns, right? Because y'all are all unicorns, all right? We can all agree on that. Women that aren't unicorns, per se, doing a lot of just ridiculous nonsense that make ladies like the ladies here look bad. Sort of like when we did the Negrology stream. And I said that when people see people like me and they pass judgment on me, it's not necessarily because of me. It's because of the niggas who came before me. Do you ladies believe that you endure that same thing? Do you endure that same thing because, not because of you, but because of the thoughts and hoes and harlots that came before you? I'll start with you, Teach.
Oh Lord. Okay, so do I feel, no, you're gonna have to do the last part again. Do I feel that, I don't understand.
Well, it's a two-part question. One,
okay.
I'll ask it again. Do you feel like you are judged because of the holes and thoughts and harlots that came before you? And also, do you feel like you are a person who are willing to speak out against the fuckery of those holes and thoughts and harlots that came before you?
Okay, so first question. No, I personally don't feel like I'm judged based off of what loose women or women who choose to be out there in that way. I'm not going to say anything or label them, but who choose to be out there in that way, because I feel like it is a choice. I don't feel me personally per se as if I'm judged based off of that, because even if somebody don't know me, when they see me walk in, the last thought that they get is this is a promiscuous person, or this is a thought, or, you know, a woman who is very sexually explicit, you know. So no, I don't feel like that. And woman, man, child, you know, I don't care who it is, I'll call anybody out on their shit. You know what I mean? I call myself out on my shit. I check myself first. So for other individuals, most definitely, you already know that. Most definitely, if something is wrong, if something is not right, whether it's a person's behavior or attitude, you know, or however they're moving, if it's something negative, if it's something wrong, if it's something not good, not healthy, or just plain old bullshit, I'm going to address the situation. You understand? I'm going to call it out if I'm seeing it. If I have something to say about it, most definitely. Yeah. And I don't feel like I get judged because of, you know, what other women are doing, because when people see me, they, you know, I carry myself a certain way, you know, so people don't even approach me, you know, even if perfect example, if a brother sees me and they'll look at me, they might think that I look nice, and they might not be the type of person that would usually go for the type of woman, you know, how a woman that dresses how I dress. And, you know, I dress very modest, y'all, and I wear really long skirts, or who carry themselves as I do, compared to maybe women who they usually approach who are a little bit more looser and faster. They'll see me and look at me, the men will see me and look at me and smile, you know, I might give me a compliment, but they don't dare like approach me on no bullshit, because they can tell, you know, I'm not into it. I'm not that type of person. So I think for that part, no, that I don't think that I would be getting judged based off of, you know, the explicit sexuality of other women. No. And yeah, for that's just no. Anybody doing bullshit or fuckery, if I see it, I'm gonna call them out, and you know that. You already know that. I don't care. Especially, I feel as a woman, you know, for us to do something and see it, you know, and not check it like, yo, sis, that's not cool, or, you know, you know, you're setting the wrong example, or you know, you're moving in a way that's going to be harmful to yourself, to your health, to your children, if they have children, or to your family, you know, and for most importantly, like I said, to themselves. So I would, of course, you know, check them on it or speak to them about it, most definitely.
Lady Ming, you feel like you've been
Hey,
judged by hoes and thoughts and harlots that came
no,
before you?
no, I never did either growing up. I just never did. Even I grew up in south side of Chicago, but I never went like to the schools in the neighborhood. I always went to Catholic school, and then when it came time to high school, I bused clear across town to high school. So I was always in the hood, but not necessarily of the hood, day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been a person who puts my brains before my beauty. So, and I let that be known, hence the reason why
That's
I
right.
probably never had the people who approach me to give them something, to get something, because I just don't
Mm-hmm.
have that aura. It's just not who I am. So I really haven't had that issue. And in terms of speaking out, of course, I have younger sisters. I have, my daughter is 22. You know, I talk about this with her and things like that all the time. And I always try to tell them, you know, people don't talk to you, they talk about you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to, like, you know, be mindful and cognizant of what it is that you're doing every day, even when you think somebody's not paying attention. Somebody's always paying attention.
That's right.
So it's just something about me. I remember growing up, and we were in my teens, late teens, and my girlfriends, they were having like lesbian experiences. They left me out. They didn't even tell me they was doing it. It's just something about me. They didn't think I
They
would even
knew.
be
Yeah,
interested. You know what I mean? And they
it's
were
true.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But I found out,
Yep.
like, dang, girl, y'all couldn't even tell me I was doing this, but it was just something. It's just who I am. So no.
Hmm. I guess we'll go to Lady Kendra.
I have to say, in a way, no, I'm not getting judged on the thoughts that preceded me, mainly because of the way I present myself in public. As a Muslim, I'm dressed like a Muslim.
That's right.
So for Black men, I only get respect in the street.
Mm-hmm.
And that's based off of dress alone. Now, for non-Black people, I'm not getting judged on level of thoughttism. I'm getting judged on level of ratchetry. I'm still a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the opinion of Black women is so low, mainly of our collective doing, that they waiting to see how ratchet I'm gonna act. How loud am I gonna be? You know, am I gonna start cursing, you know, crazily and using all kinds of vulgar language? Am I constantly angry? Am I gonna start some type of argument, you know, with a stranger for no apparent reason, or being super petty? That's what I'm getting judged on. You know what I'm saying? Because I live in the hood. I'm in the straight up hood on the south side of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And but the difference is, when I go other places, I know how to conduct myself with dignity and honor and respect. You know what I'm saying? And I project that. So when I come into the area, people are on notice. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And they not on notice because I came in and I'm a so-called bad B. That's not why they
Mhm.
don't notice. They're on notice because, okay, we think this woman might be on some craziness because she's black, but see, don't start talking to me, you're going to get something. And it's not going to be foolishness. You know what I'm saying? So people
That's
kind of
right.
pick up on that. You know, even going about my regular day, you know what I'm saying, going on the bus and in and out, you know, running errands or whatever, being in the public eye, you know, I don't carry myself a certain way. So, you know, whatever judgment they have of me, you know what I mean, they can have it, but I'm likely not fitting in any of those stereotypes.
That's right.
But as far as calling people out, I don't have a public platform until just recently. Your platform, Brother X and BGS and all of that kind of stuff. But prior to that, in my personal life, yeah, if I see some mess happening, I'm not part of the sisterhood affair. Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
Mhm.
You know, if you coming up with some foolishness, don't bring it my way. If I see it, I'm gonna say something.
That's
And
right.
see, like I said on the last stream, that's why I don't have friends, because once I bring it up, they gonna be mad because I'm gonna say what it is. I'm gonna look at them like, okay, now what? And then they're gonna be like, well, you so mean about it. Well, you know, you shouldn't have told me, you know, that you talk to your man like that. Because I'm gonna tell you they
Hmm.
stupid. You know, so you know that's how it is. But yeah, I call stuff out. That's why people don't like me.
Lady Classic, you up next.
We
Okay, well,
appreciate you, sis. We appreciate all of y'all.
well, as far as being judged, I think that there has always been like not to like a like not extendedly, but I think there is like almost like an initial approach that people will give me, especially men, but women as well, regarding a thought process where they think, for example, if I say I have male friends, they think about the hoes that they know, and hoes say they have male friends when it's a situationship or whatever, right? And like I'm not that person, or
Right.
and it's not just on the whole level, it's also on other things. So the fact that I value honesty and openness above all, but it took my husband like 7 years to figure out I wasn't lying. I wasn't just saying that so he would tell me things and I could be mad. I actually value honesty and openness. So I think that in general, even if it's not just on a whole level, people are going to judge you based on the majority. So if you are not like the majority, then one way or the other, or what their stereotypes are of the majority, then they are going to be kind of shocked or surprised, and they're always going to be kind of trying to look for it, or trying to set you up to see if they can catch you in it, because like Kendra was saying, with white people, they think that you're the angry black woman, or they think that you're ratchet or something. So like almost try to set you up with questions or, situations to see if you're going to act that way. Or if you get upset at something,
Mm.
treat you like you're just being an angry black woman instead of being rationally angry, because it's a reasonable situation to be angry at. So, I mean, I have come across that, but again, it doesn't seem to take very long for people, when they get to know me, to realize that I don't really adhere to those stereotypical views they have, and I am a different person. It might take them a while to kind of shake their own personal automatic reactions, but not their, I guess, surface perception of me. In regards to, I mean, the reason why I decided to go back to school to begin with, because I didn't graduate high school and I didn't go to school right away, was because I was basically being everybody's amateur psychologist. And I mean, whether it was
Sound like a
randoms,
Libra.
yeah, well, you know what? I am Libra. Wait, no, is it rising? It's one of, not like my sign is a
Well, your
Leo,
sun, yeah, but
but it's
yeah,
either
your
the
moon
rising or
or
the
right.
evening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a
exactly. It's a
Libra. That's why I
Libra.
said I think I'm
Yeah.
everybody's psychologist. I am whoever calls me. So yeah. But go ahead,
Exactly.
Martin.
But yeah, like even like randoms, like I go to a bar or whatever, and I used to smoke, and I go out for a smoke, and some random person I've never spoken to before ends up within 10 minutes telling me about their life and their current problem
Yep.
and whatever. So I kind of had this thing. So for me, I've always had this thing where people tell me about their problems and tell me about their lives and tell me about their situations, and I've always been the person. I don't just give you some random answer. I'm going to ask you questions and, get full details. So if what you've told me, like if you tell me something like, well, but you cheated on him, but this and that and whatever, I'm going to say, well, yeah, so if you cheated on him, then of course he doesn't trust you, and here's why, and here's what you've set up, and here's how you've taught people how to treat you. And if you want to change that, here's what you need to do. So I've never been one to just, I guess, excuse anything one way or the other, because I'm the type of person to analyze your behavior and how it's impacting your life. And if you don't like that, then I'm not going to just say, oh, well, it's unfair and you don't like it, so it should change. Like, no,
Right.
you need to change it. I'm all about personal accountability. And I let, whether it's the randos in my life or, people that are really close to me, I'm going to tell you about yourself, but, in a way that I feel is positive, and in a way that, there are
They'll
some
be accepting
solutions.
of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I want you to hear me, and I want that thing to change. Not only so I don't have to hear about it again, but because if I care about you, I want your world to be better. So
That's right.
that's kind of how I approach those types of things.
Okay, Lady Katz, do you feel like you've been judged by the hoes and heifers that have come before you?
Well, I don't think I've ever been judged as a hoe because I dress pretty conservatively, and I don't really have high things to say about hoes when people talk to me. But I do I do think people judge me based on my attitude because they automatically assume because I'm black and female I'm gonna be like sour puss, really bad attitude all the time. And this I especially saw this when I used to work in like customer service jobs. Uh, a lot of people would come up to me and be very standoffish, and I would wonder why they were standoffish if I'm just standing there and smiling. If I'm smiling at you, obviously I'm trying to be welcoming and inviting and stuff. But yeah, they'd assume because a lot of you got a lot of black women in customer service, but they don't give the best customer service. So
Tell me about it.
So I could understand why they would be standoffish, but at the same time I'd be like, but that's not me personally. So yeah, I do feel like I was judged in that regard, but not for being a hoe, just on the attitude part.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a true believer that a lot of young women in the world today, well, let me start here. They say that a lot of children, not just young women, but we're talking about women now because I got an all woman panel up here. They say that young women are the way they are due to lack of fathers. And there's some truth to that with all children with lack of fathers. But also on the other hand, as my friend Sister Ali says often, a lot of our children that are coming up don't have mothers either. Okay? They don't have mothers either. They don't have a mother just because they happen to be living with her black ass. Okay? And I feel that a lot of these young women coming up, they need, I don't want to say role models per se, but they should have some examples. When I think about examples of black
Positive
women,
examples.
young black women to look up to, I think of people like Michelle Obama, just her whole, the way she carries herself, the way
her whole
she
demeanor.
her whole gravitas and how she operates. I think of examples like that. Now, I say that to say this. I'll ask all you ladies, do you believe that you are an example for younger women? And when I say younger women, I mean, young girls, that are coming up, about to reach puberty or within adolescence or maybe even teenagers. Do you ladies feel that you are an example for those young women? And I guess I'll start with, we'll start with you, Classic, Lady Classic. We'll start there. We'll go backwards up the ladder.
All right. Well, I will say that, can I say that I am an example now in my current life? Maybe, yes. But will I say that maybe when I was younger, would I say, oh, do everything I did or be everything I was? No, because, obviously I made some mistakes, maybe not, in the thought kind of era of mistakes, but I did make mistakes and, I had to learn and grow from them. So I think, though, that I would be a good fountain of knowledge regarding what to do and what not to do, and more importantly, for the things I did do, where that's going to lead you and where you're going wrong. So there are people that I kind of see myself in sometimes, like Miss J is someone, she spoke on the BGS panel, and there was just elements of myself in my younger days and that kind of pessimism and nihilistic almost thought pattern she had. And, I just think about the fact that I was so kind of traumatized by my past and kind of stuck in it. And she sounded similar to the way that I used to think. So, and a woman like her, I wouldn't say, well, live your life the way I do today, because I don't think that she's anywhere near that. But more here, take my advice, because I know how to get from where you are to where I am now. I know how I got out of that. I know what I didn't fall into. And I can tell you, by me not falling into that, that's how I made it where I am now. By me not falling into that, that's how I managed to avoid this trap and that trap that people I knew fell into. So I think it's, for me at least, it's less a matter of being an example than the fact that I do think I have advice that's worth hearing and paying attention to. And I also have knowledge based on my education now. So when I say, I can analyze or explain a situation and, there's actual evidence behind what I'm saying, not just my personal experience, that I think, again, that's worth, it's actually something that's valuable.
Okay. Lady Kendra, how about you? Do you consider yourself to be an example for younger women?
I think I could be, if I put myself in a position in front of them so that I could maybe talk to them or give them something to think about, some food for thought. You said something very interesting. You said that the young women growing up don't have fathers, and they also don't have mothers. And I think that people kind of don't know that they don't have moms. Just because she birthed you, that's a medical mishap. We talking about a mother is something different than that. So just for example, I don't know if I said this on your platform last week or if I said it on BGS, but I said it before somewhere. There was a YouTube video, it might have been earlier this year, where there was a young lady. She was 14 years old, and her mother was beating her in public like she didn't know who she was. And they were beating her because she had the audacity to tell her mother and her grandmother that the boyfriend that they had living in the home was raping her.
Yeah.
And she told,
both of the men were her mother's boyfriend and her grandmother's boyfriend were raping her.
That's stuff that makes you want to hurt people.
Exactly. And so they were raping her, and then they were beating her to make her recant what she's saying. And I think that people don't know just how often that actually happens in the Black community, where these young women, these young girls are being victimized, and their mothers are facilitating the victimization that they're going under, the trauma that they're going under. They're not protecting them from the predators that they have invited into the home. And so you think about a girl like that, what is she going to be? What kind of woman is she destined to turn out to be? Is she going to be an upstanding woman who, has all these excellent qualities that men would be looking for to make her a wife? Probably not. It's not likely. It's more likely that she would become one of these ratchets that we talk about. It's more likely that she will have a child in the next year just to get out of her mother's house. It's more likely that she would have a child to get out of her mother's house because the government will pay for it, and that's how she gets out of her mother's house. And then she's going to have trust issues. She's not going to like men very much, or she'll like them too much, or she definitely won't have a good idea of what a good man looks like. She doesn't know what that is, because her first experiences have been trauma. So, and I use her for a sad example because where was her protection? And she had, and the Black community works on a bastardized form of matriarchy.
Yeah.
So her mother and her grandmother, who are her matriarchs, did nothing to protect her. And in fact, they victimized her more. And then they humiliated her by posting the situation on social media. So this girl hardly has a chance to be this upstanding woman. And how much of that is her fault? You know what I'm saying? How much of that can she really avoid in her adult years when she turns 18 and she already has 4 kids? Or how much of that, she's going to be stuck mentally and emotionally at whatever age she started getting raped at.
Yeah, it's true.
That's where she is. So you wonder why a lot of these young Black women are so immature emotionally, and that's not everybody's case, but that's a good amount of people's cases. You know what I'm saying? That's where they are. They're mentally and emotionally stuck at 11, 12, 13 years old, where whatever trauma took place, and then there was no recourse because we don't believe in therapy. We don't believe in going to get some professional help to help us get over the traumas of our childhood. We just have to take it, and then it manifests in our lives in the form of, I got 6 kids, I got 6 baby daddies, and I don't need no man, and I got an EBT card, and I don't care. And it manifests in the young man who's super violent in the community, and he sells drugs, and he can't stop being in and out of the system because he was probably traumatized. I mean, the boys and the girls are growing up in the same household. Yeah. He's growing up with a mother that's probably abusing him as well, and I mean sexually. That's quiet as
that's be going on too. Yeah.
A lot of the boys are being sexually molested by aunts, cousins, the mom, whomever. You see these strange relationships that a woman has with her son, and it's almost like he her man. That's not always by mistake. You see what I'm saying? So that's actually more rampant in the Black community than I think a lot of people give credit for. We got a lot of problems. And these single parent households, particularly single mother households, are a big, 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 big issue because where is the protection for the children? How are the children being protected? We just growing them up. They just getting older, but nobody's raising them. Nobody's teaching them anything. We actually have to fall through the cracks to make it. We got to fall through the cracks in order to make it.
That's true.
I gotta say this, Lady Kendra, you're as deep as the damn Atlantic Ocean, lady.
Okay,
she is.
I told you the 4 elements. She be Earth.
Man, I'm telling you, these ladies ain't no joke.
She be fire.
They remind me of you. They remind me of you. They do.
She be fire. What's the other sister?
Who's next?
The one with the blue shirt and the. Okay, go ahead.
I guess we'll go with Lady Katz.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're up.
There go Earth.
Okay. Thank you.
Huh?
I think I would be a good example for young ladies, particularly the ones who are under the age of maybe like 13, because I do pay attention to like a lot of etiquette stuff. So I like, for example, if I go to my grandma's church or something, I'll always correct them on how to sit, how to talk to people, how to stand and stuff. So, um, I think I'd be a good example in that regard. As for other things, I still am working on myself a lot, but I do think that, like what Ruby said, I can give good advice on what to do and not to do. So, yeah.
That's what's
Well,
up.
those things that you speak about, believe it or not, are very important. How to
That's
sit,
Very.
right.
how to stand, how to cross
Mm-hmm.
your damn legs when you sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All that, all those little tiny infinitesimal details that are often
Mm-hmm.
overlooked are very important because what they do, they indoctrinate you with a sense of honor, integrity, and respect about yourself as you
Hmm.
practice them. So
That's right.
that's needed.
Yeah.
Where we at now, Lady Ming?
Okay, water.
Absolutely. That's funny because I'm actually an Aries. I figured
Oh,
it all
oh,
out.
really? Aries is my
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm a Libra, but Aries is my sun,
Absolutely.
moon, one of them.
I'm an Aries, but absolutely. You guys heard my story a little bit last week. Just briefly, teacher Tanisha, to bring you up to speed. Inner city
Yes.
Chicago, South Side Inglewood, drug
Mm.
addict mother.
Mm-hmm.
She's been clean for about 20 years now, and
That's
what
what's
that's
up.
given me is like resilience and perseverance. I can think myself outside of a box. I can show you that you don't have to just be that person because that's who your mother is or who your grandmother is. That you
Mm.
actually can get out here and want more for yourself, and you don't have to become lily white, or you don't have to do all those things. You can still drink a 40 on the porch and champagne in the boardroom. You can
Mm.
have that flip side of the coin with you and still get the respect that you need. I think that I'm 100% a role model. Even and my daughter's
That's right.
22 and I'm 38. I had her at
Mm-hmm.
15,
Mm-hmm.
and I still had got my master's, still got my bachelor's,
Mm-hmm.
still was able to work in corporate America. And I didn't have any more children until I was with my husband. They're 17 years
Hmm.
apart.
Oh
So
wow,
I
you did
think,
good, girl.
thank you. I did because I felt that it would be a disservice to her. I had her
Mm.
so young, I wasn't able to give her what I've been able to give my boys because I didn't have anything to give.
Right.
I didn't know what to give. I didn't know anything. So I thought it would be truly a disservice to her to then have more children by more men. It's just unfair. But now to show her, because I'm trying to break curses, even though my mother did not have me out of wedlock or as a teenage parent, not at all. And my grandmother and grandfather were married until he died. So I don't have those type of curses, but I damn for sure wasn't about to start creating one.
Right.
So I think that 100%, if I can show you nothing else, I can show you how to believe in yourself. I can show you that you don't have to ever have the thoughts of suicide to cross your mind. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. This is a temporary situation that you may in, but let's help find you some permanent solutions.
That's
You can
right.
hear it in my voice. I'm very passionate about that,
Yes.
because I didn't have anybody to hold my hand. It was something internal that told me I wanted better for myself, but that doesn't mean those who don't have that shouldn't also get a helping hand in that same direction.
Mm.
So that's about all I
That's
have to
right.
say. I'll
That's
get to
right. It
rambling and talking fast. So
it's so good. And when I said water, I wasn't. When I say four elements, I'm not referring to your astrological sign. I'm referring to your energy.
really, it's still funny.
Sister Kendra, yes, Sister Kendra is very fiery.
Mhm.
Sister Cat, that she's very earth.
Mhm.
Sister Classic, she's airy, and you water. How y'all speak? You
What
kind of
does that
flow.
mean?
Water,
Okay.
like your energy is flowing.
Okay.
It's a flow to it. The way you speak, the way you present your points, your thought process.
Okay.
Classic to me is very airy because of her energy. I'm trying to find the best way to explain it and express it. Like I'm getting that because of the way each person talks, the way each person presents their thought on every question, you know, that's being asked of y'all. You know, Sister
Okay.
Kendra's very fiery. She comes out like, look, you know, and this is what it is, and you know, and da da da. And Sister Cat is very earth. She's very calm. You know, she has her points together and she lets you know what's going on. And Classic, she's like, yes, and da da da. And then, you know, she's air to me and you're very flowy. You're water. Yeah. That's why I said he need to call you out the 4 elements. But okay, we'll leave the 4. I'm
Well,
not
thank
trying
you
to
for
change the
explaining that.
name.
No,
Yes. I'm
no,
not trying to change the name.
it's unicorns. Damn it.
Okay, well, yes, it's that. But y'all know when I'm like air, water, earth, and fire, y'all know. Y'all know. Okay, that's it. Okay. Yes, y'all know.
Well, this this team of women, right? This team of women. I was very impressed with all of them. Like I said, when I did that stream, Wise Women Wanted, I kind of saw this already. And these are the women who showed up. I mean, and they're not my only female subscribers. Now, I have a very small, you know, percentage of female subscribers anyway. I think I'm like 12 and 88, you know, like 88% male to 12% female. That's where I'm at. And I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. I'm not complaining. But I knew the ones that would show up and not only have the sense to come on one of my streams, but have the balls to come on one of my streams. You understand? Not just the ability to come on my stream, but have the guts to come on my stream. Because they didn't know what the hell I was going to throw at them. You know, this is the Proper Thought series. You don't know what's going to come throwing, what's going to come swirling at you. This is T.P.O.T. So for them, the fact that they came on my stream, well, Cats, well, full disclosure, Cats and the classic one, they have been on my streams before. The classic one is pretty much a regular. She's been on a few of my streams. You know, she's a very bright person, and I've listened to her speak. And, you know, I knew that I would have some type of alliance with this woman. The first time I ever watched her videos, I knew that me and her would have some type of alliance. Lady Ming, I have seen her around and on other platforms, but I told her last week I never got a chance to like conversate with her. Same with Lady Kendra. I've been impressed with Lady Kendra for a while. She don't know what I've been watching her for a while. I've been stalking her conversation for a while because I watch her on other. Yeah, I listen to her on other brothers' streams. You know, I listen to her on, you know, the Master Teacher's stream, you know, and not everybody can be on the Master Teacher's stream. Not everybody. And I've listened to people like her. I've listened to people like Cass. I've listened to people like Lady Ming and Classic, and they hold their own. So I knew they would fit right in here. You know, I knew they would fit right in here because they hold their own. A lot of people wouldn't be able to. A lot of the question, and I threw some pretty softball questions at y'all.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure.
Trust me. The next time we get together, the questions are going to be different. All right. The only reason I'm throwing softball questions now, of course, you know, I wanted to integrate y'all with Teacher Tanisha. I wanted her to get familiar with y'all. I wanted y'all to see who she is, you know, because she's like my buffer to let everybody else know that, you know, I don't have a problem with females being on the platform. It's just that they have to be a female of a particular caliber. You know what I'm saying? So I threw some pretty softball questions at y'all this time, ladies. But the next time we get together, the questions will not be softball. I promise you.
You think the questions was softball? I think this live was dope. I think they were so like on point and so it was random. The questions nobody knew exactly what you were gonna ask. You went, you know.
That's why they are here, because they are on point. But these questions that I threw at y'all, softball questions. Are you kidding me?
Compared to what he could ask.
Are you kidding me? These are softball questions. But you know, I knew they would pass with flying colors. I mean, you should have saw them last week. You got to go back and watch last week's streams. I mean, they're very impressive ladies. They're very impressive ladies. I'm not just saying that, you know, to kiss y'all ass, because you know We spoke about this. I don't kiss women's ass. I don't simp for women, and I don't give a damn about your damn vagina because I got one in my house. So I got my own. I got my own right in here that I could see right now if I want to see. I don't care about. I don't care about none of that. I'm more concerned with what's between your ears, not what's between your legs. Capiche? So that's where we at, and that's why they here. That's why they down with the team. They the 4 unicorns, and like I said, the unicorns because 9 times out of 10 you can't find women who are willing to come on to a platform, have a logical conversation, not get all emotional, don't get defensive, because I easily ask them some questions that would make other women defensive. I know I've asked these questions of other people before and they got real defensive. They pause, they think about what they're going to say, they don't just jump off.
Yeah, we even had some guests like that. Not gonna say no names.
Absolutely. So that's why they're here. I mean, they are in the mold of you, Teach, because you've been with me for a while. Okay, you have been with T.P.O.T ever since the beginning of T.P.O.T when I was in the booth. So you know what I'm about. They don't, but they're finding it out. They're seeing how it's going. They're finding it out. So, what I was going to ask the 4, y'all know if y'all follow me, y'all know I just don't do live streams. I also do, videos and stuff. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen the videos with me and Teach and all that kind of stuff. So if y'all wanted to have some input on a video, I'd be open for that too. I do a host of topics. I do a lot of stuff. I mean, I cover a lot of stuff. I mean, this ain't no one hit wonder. This ain't no one trick pony. I talk about a lot of different things. So if y'all wanted to collaborate on a video, whether it's one of y'all, 2 of y'all, 3 of y'all, all of y'all let me know. Y'all all have my email. Y'all write me and let me know, and I can make that happen too. But I will need particular things from you. I would need video clips and or vocals and or topics and or soundtracks and or whatever the hell you think you want to put inside the production.
That sounds interesting.
That sounds,
I just bought my camera, so I just ordered it last night.
Yay!
Baby steps. I know.
That's okay.
So it's
all good.
Finally.
That's right.
I know.
So I mean, if y'all wanna do something like that, it's all good. We can do something like that. It's up to y'all.
Oh, I got a cute idea.
Plus, I'm the man anyway, because what dude can have all these freaking pretty ladies up on their joint at one time?
Oh, my goodness.
Say that.
Thanks.
We're flying. We know it. Come on, ladies.
I was just trying to be a little modest.
That Libra popped out, huh? Classic. It came out.
I'm sorry.
You know what I think would be dope? Just piggybacking off of what you're saying about a video idea. Like, everybody wouldn't even have to be speaking on the same topic. Maybe each unicorn element, ladies, could do like 10 or 15 minutes on whatever subject they wanted to, and then you can make that one entire video.
I can do that.
And upload it. That would be really dope. So this way, I mean, even though I know y'all all couldn't speak on, y'all already proved that y'all can speak on many different subjects, but if y'all wanted to address something that's, close to your heart or something that you wanted to speak on individually, maybe the other person might not want to, talk about that topic, so it wouldn't be like a forced thing. Everybody could just free flow, and it's kind of, but the audience has already been introduced to y'all, but it's kind of just, showing each,
perhaps the first
unicorn
one.
style. Yeah.
Or like maybe like a one umbrella subject. So like, whatever it is, like maybe the umbrella discrimination or the umbrella whatever. And then, that's just kind of a jump off point. So like all of the topics are related, but we can go wherever our interests flow in that arena, so it's kind of
Well, I
cohesive.
But
tell you what
but
y'all
even
do.
if not, even if y'all spoke on different topics, it'll still be flavor. You understand what I mean?
True,
Because
true.
it's one video, and everybody's kind of expressing their, y'all showing y'all individuality at the same time. I mean, of course, there can be videos on similar topics, and everybody speak on one topic, but that was just an idea. You know what I
Yeah, we
mean?
could do both.
Maybe y'all want, yeah, maybe y'all might want to express something. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Just in your 10 or 15 minutes of, doing your video. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think it's a great
Yeah.
idea.
And y'all can also do, similar topics or the same topic and, do your 10 and 15 minutes on that. Like the sisters, I think that was Ching, do both.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can make that happen, because y'all are an arm of T.P.O.T now. So once you become an arm of
Trying to turn this thing
T.P.O.T,
on.
you have access to the T.P.O.T thing. You know what I'm saying? You have access to whatever T.P.O.T, because that's how I run my ship. Once you're part of the T.P.O.T team, everybody knows this. Who's ever walked in and out of the doors of T.P.O.T. Once you're part of the T.P.O.T team, you have access to all the T.P.O.T shit. The video making, all that shit. That's kind of how we do things
Thank
here.
you.
That's how we do things here. So,
Awesome.
Hey,
I mean,
Kendra, we should meet up and have coffee. We both in the Chicagoland area and
I
brainstorm on
would
some
not mind
ideas.
that. We should probably meet up. I'm off on Thursdays and Fridays, and so far I'm off on Sunday morning. So if you want to meet up, like downtown or Hyde Park, I don't know which one
hmm
of those places is more.
I'm in Schaumburg, so both of them are 35 minutes from me.
Are you in Schaumburg? See, and this is why I need a car because we would be meeting up at IKEA if it was up to me.
I
But
know that's
anyway.
right. That's 10 minutes from my house.
yeah. So we can do this, ladies. Because, see, I can gather all these beautiful women together without even simping. You know what I'm saying? Because that's who I am. So I I appreciate y'all coming through. Everybody showed up.
Yes.
All right. Everybody showed up. Everybody put their intellectual muscle on display tonight, just like last time.
Yes.
But I'm telling y'all now, the questions that I threw at y'all tonight were kind of softball. I was just kind of feeling y'all out. The next time we talk, the questions are going to be a lot more in depth, and they're going to be a lot deeper. No more softball questions coming from me. The next questions are going to be questions that really, really make you think. You're going to have to take some pause and answer the next time we get together, ladies. So be prepared for that.
Okay.
All right.
2 weeks or next
I appreciate.
Thursday.
Y'all let them know. Ain't
Yep.
nobody scared of you, brother X.
No,
I mean,
I know.
they
I
ready.
know that.
They ready
I
to get
know
it
they're not.
popping.
I know they're not. I know they're
Yep.
not. I know they're not. That's why they're here. So, do y'all wanna do this next Thursday? Do y'all want to do this again next Thursday, or do
Yeah,
y'all
I'm
want to?
good.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
open. Yeah. Same
What
time
about
was perfect timing.
what
Mm-hmm.
about you, Lady Kendra?
Same back station, same
I
back
was just
channel.
thinking that.
Okay.
Same back time, same back channel. That's right.
Okay.
I was too.
Okay. What about you, Lady Cats?
Yes,
Next
sir.
Thursday? You good next Thursday, same time?
Yep. That's
Okay.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll do this next Thursday, and I don't know. I'll make another promo, of course, and maybe I'll come up with a topic. I don't know yet. Don't hold me to it, but next week is going to be a little different. We're gonna do something a little different next week. All right, we're gonna do
All
something a
right.
little different.
Cool.
I'm gonna go ahead and promote it. I want y'all to promote it too. Put it on your Facebook pages, put it on your Twitter, put it on your Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Y'all also need to take the link of this show tonight off of my page and share that as well. Yeah, do that because T.P.O.T is growing. I'm glad to have you ladies aboard. Now Teach don't got to feel like she's the only female on the team. So yeah, so it's all
Right.
good. Um, we'll do this. We'll do this same thing, same time next week, and hopefully it'll be just as good as it was tonight. I
Thanks.
appreciate all you ladies for showing up. I do. Um,
Word.
you ladies really impress me with your commentary. It's none of that emotional vagina monologue crap, you know, and I really
He's a mess.
I really, I really respect that. Yeah, they know. You know, I keep it straight with them. You know, I really respect. I respect the way y'all answer the questions. I respect the way y'all articulate yourselves and explain yourselves. Um, it's hard for brothers like me to believe that all women are unintelligent or inarticulate or stupid or dumb. It's hard for a brother to believe that when you got ladies, you know, talking the way y'all talk, speaking the way y'all speak, and explaining things the way you ladies explain things. So it's hard for any brother to listen to this show and not say that unicorns don't exist, because they do exist, and they exist right here on the old T.P.O.T network.
Night.
God damn it, they exist right. You find them
No,
right
God bless
here
it. We got
at
enough of goddamn. God bless it.
T.P.O.T.
That's
You'll
right.
find them right here at T.P.O.T. And don't you be forgetting it, folks.
Thank.
Don't you be forgetting it. So I want to thank everybody for showing up. I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank my boy Universal Jones for coming through. I appreciate you, brother. I want to thank Lady Katz, Lady Ming, Lady Kendra, and of course Lady Classic, the Four, for coming through and dropping some
Yes.
jewels. I hope y'all had some pen and paper tonight and wrote some of this stuff down. You should have. If you didn't, you messed up. So you might have to go back and you might have to go back and listen to the damn replay because you messed up. And of course, Teach, the right hand of T.P.O.T. You know, I always appreciate you coming through.
No doubt, bro.
Text me later. Text me later after we get off the air. I gotta shoot some things by you tonight, so don't go to sleep.
Okay,
All right?
bro. Lord, I'm in the bed. I guess when I turned the thing off, I was like, I'm late.
I want to shoot a few things. I want to shoot a few things across your bow before you go to sleep, Teach. So
Okay,
hit me up
cool.
after the show. All right.
Okay, cool.
All right, ladies. Good show tonight, and I will see y'all same time next week. The Four. I appreciate the commentary. I appreciate the intelligence, and I appreciate the intellectualism as always.
Yes, you sisters are dope.
No,
Absolutely.
nice meeting you. Thank
Yes,
you.
nice meeting y'all too.
I want to let
Definitely.
everybody know. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, share these videos. Also hop on the Proper Thought Series YouTube page, the main page, Proper Thought Series on Facebook. Also, go to the T.P.O.T bandwagon page. There's always some good stuff on there. And there's a Proper Thought Series fan group page. I believe we up to like 2,800 members now. I want to get it to 5,000, you know, by the end of the year. So get on up there, join that group. Also, we are on Instagram and we have a WhatsApp. So just punch in Proper Thought and you sure to find us, because there's only one Proper Thought series and you know where that is. So with that, I want to leave y'all with 3 words like I always do.
Open your
mind.
mind. 100.
And we out of here, y'all.
Peace and blessings, y'all.
Bye.
All right, bye,
Good
y'all.
night.
Good night.
Profit of Thought series.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Peace, folks. only.